Today, we're talking the end of Rapture.
You are now watching WhoDooTV.
Welcome to WhoDooTV. I'm Jared.
And I'm Hooser.
And today we're talking about Rapture number 4, the closing of this mini-series. It's an awesome series, great closure, and yeah, we're going to get into it today.
That's right. Matt Kindt is doing the writing, CAFU on the art. We get a little surprise showing with Juan Jose Rip and Andrew Dolhouse again on the colors. From beginning to end, I've enjoyed every bit of it. It's good.
So we've read this book, and we hope you have too, but if you haven't, we would suggest that you pause this video right now and come back to us after you have read this book, because we will be getting into some spoilers, and we don't want to ruin this experience for you.
At the end of number 3, if you remember, Jack was impelled by a pole, and he was losing his Loa to Babel. And the Loa was protruding from his body, about to leave, and that's when the rest of the team came up and saw him, and that's right where we start off right away, and we just see this great scene of Loas going up in the sky above Babel's tower. And everybody's telling Jack, you need to get him back. You need to get him back now. And Tama's really going after him.
Right, yeah. They successfully pierced the live side, which has now also begun to flood the dead side. It's an apocalyptic level event going on, and it could destroy the entire dead side if something isn't done right now.
Tama's telling Jack that you need to get Shadowman back. You need to have your Loa back. And that everything from this point has come to this moment, and it's up to you right now. You need to be the one to do it. Really cool moment. And just all chaos is breaking loose. And yeah, she says that millions could be dead if this isn't fixed. And Jack is left to make a choice.
So Jack makes the right decision. After wanting to get rid of the Loa for so long, he chooses for himself to take back the Loa and go up and follow Babel to end this once and for all.
Jack ends up going up to the live side to see the gates of the live side, while the team is back down on the dead side trying to get their stuff together, trying to save their lives. And Jack comes back with other Loas in tow, and it's a battle going on. And beautiful looking battle, may I say.
Yeah. I mean, Jack is fighting with a synergy that it's been a while that he's had with his Loa against the Loa that Babel himself has collected. It's pretty much the 3 original Loa that he's put together, and they're fighting him. They're trying to take him down, trying to protect Babel. But the connection between Jack and his Loa is so intense, they make quick work of these guys.
After Jack's defeated all the other Loas, he confronts Babel, and Ninjak comes from the corner and takes him down. And then they pin him to the ground, and a tree starts growing out of his stomach. It's a pretty cool scene.
Yeah, it's all due to Tama's magic. She knows kind of something's going on. She feels something that she can manipulate, and she begins to grow what she calls the seeds out of his stomach. And it begins to trap him in this weave of vines that he won't be able to get out of.
Right. And the key is there, he's still living. He is just going to be trapped with the vines as long as Rexo keeps it watered and keeps the vine alive. So he may be one of those villains we see later on.
Yeah, they understand that they can't kill him right now. So maybe we will see another view of Babel.
This also gives us a point to where we're seeing kind of a new Jack already. After his experience in the live side, which he tells us later, he tells MI6, I'm not going to be their little puppy dog anymore. Take me off their leash. And he tells Punk Mambo and Ninjak to go back and tell him back.
Yeah, and Thomas decides to stick with him rather than going back to MI6 as well. And yeah, they're just going to kind of go about their own business. Tama kind of looks at him and says, is everything okay? Are you doing all right? What did you see in the live side? And he says, I didn't really see anything.
But he was lying. He actually did get to see quite a bit. He had a nice interaction with his father, who basically told him to grow up and be a man and take responsibility for yourself and quit blaming others or situations for it. It's all your responsibility. And the fact you do feel bad about what happened between the two, you're still there. There's still part of you there. And you need to just go up and get a kick in the butt.
Right. And then Jack says, look, I need to defeat Babel, and I have no idea how to do that. And so his father actually hands him these seeds and gives it to him, and that's where these seeds come from. gives him a quick push out, and he's able to find Babel. And as soon as he gets up to Babel, he says, I asked some questions and I got some answers, and he punched the seeds right inside of him. And that's how Babel pretty much had his check cashed.
Right. And then Tama, all wise when they go back to present time, and she goes, that funny feeling you're feeling, that's called peace. And Jack's not sure what to do with it. Shadowman and Tama then go their separate ways. Then we see 2 weeks later where Tama is making her way back in the Deadside, and we see an old friend that she promised that she would go and save later.
Yeah, Big Amy, the angel demon thing that's been trapped in the ancient tree that we saw since issue 1. It's a really cool picture of Tama with her integrity following up with the promise that she made all the way in the first issue.
And she has this book that's there to break curses. And she says she got it from a talking goat. So a little Quantum and Woody connection there, I believe.
I thought this was a really great book. When I first read it, it seemed to read pretty fast. It just kind of skipped from one thing to the next, especially at the beginning where it kind of cuts out Jack's experience in the live side. We do get caught up on that later, but it seemed to read pretty quickly. And then I read this book again. I went through and read it again, and it felt a lot more natural knowing kind of all the pieces. And I appreciated a lot more of what was going on in this. I appreciated the fact that it took the entire team to take down Babel. Jack needed their help to be able to pin down Babel and for Tama to spread her magic and bring make the seeds grow inside of him to create this vine trap that he has. It really shows that, Shadowman isn't alone. He's got this team that's working with him, and they want to help him. And among other things, his conversation with his father, it just shows a lot of internal growth for Shadowman and for Jack himself. It's a really, really good book, and I think they close this story off really well.
Right, I'm going to agree with you there. I did get kind of thrown off by the timeline of the book, because you weren't sure what perception it was when Jack goes up to the live side and everybody's still down in the dead side, and then he comes back with a bunch of Loas in tow. So it was kind of weird what happened. They did answer it well at the end. It's just that I'm assuming that it was all in Tama's timeline. That way he went up to the live side and then boom, he's out of back. And so maybe the time kind of stopped while you're in the live side. So it's kind of an interesting. That was kind of one thing I had a question on, but it was still really good. Again, it did have some fast pacing to it. Did move quick. The art with CAFU and Andrew Dolhouse's colors with those Loas continues to be a high point of this book as well. Enjoyed it. And then Juan Jose Rip and his going to the live side scene was really good.
To choose to do somebody else within the live side was, I think, a good choice. It definitely separates what is in the dead side and what is in the live side, and you can see that visually just through the artwork. It's not a significant change, but you can definitely see it. So yeah, this book definitely does have kind of a fractured timeline going on, because we see the conversation that Jack has with his father happen, after they already trapped Babel. But I thought that was a really good choice. It seemed to be a moment that Jack needed and that we as readers needed to have a bit of a slower pace to give that the time. So they finished the conflict, it was all finished, and then we get this moment that we can really appreciate. And it's not just thrown in the middle of a battle, it's not thrown in the middle of action, these two action scenes. It really just gave it the time that it needed, and I thought that was a really good choice for pace in this.
Right, and I think it does leave the opening door for what's to come now. Right, what's going to happen in Shadowman when the new book comes out on March 2018. Nobody's counting those days down or anything. And we get to see where Shadowman is in his mindset at that time until we see him with your drummer.
Yeah, Ray Shrimmered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, I think the ongoing is going to be really great, because now Shadowman, he is taking responsibilities for his own actions, and he's choosing to cooperate with his Loa. I think it's going to be great. I think he's going to be super powerful, and I think this was a great mini-series for him to really grow as a character. I think it's awesome.
Yep. With that being said, what do you give this book?
I give this one a 5.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've loved this entire series. I give the entire series a 5 as well, but I think they just close this one off so well. It just really gives a lot to the character. The art is so good. I mean, just everything was amazing in this book. This one's a 5 for me.
Nice.
What about you? What do you give this one?
I'm going to give this a 4.75. I don't think it was perfect, but it was pretty darn near. All the way around, that's what I'm giving the whole series this time around. I thought it was really great. From the covers, every cover looked great. All of the Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe covers looked great. The A covers by Miko were amazing from each book. So I'm pretty impressed with this book all the way around and actually where it's going to be leading us to in the future. So 4.75 for me.
So now that this whole series is over, if you were to have to take a trip to the Deadside, which of these characters would you take with you?
Good question. Put that down in the comments who you think you would want to be with. I think I probably want to be with Tama.
Yeah, Tama seems to know what she's doing. Hey, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button below.
There's also that subscribe button down there too. Make sure you punch that. We'd appreciate it. Follow us at Twitter at WhoDooTV. Also on Facebook.
Yeah, and we'd like to thank our friends over at OutrightGeekery.com. Be sure to check them out. They got all sorts of nerdy stuff on there.
Links down in the description. Thank you for watching WhoDooTV. We appreciate you guys.